Hi, I'm E.D. Lewis, and welcome back to my channel for another Nocturnal review. We're going to just start referring to him as that because I just don't have time to do them at night. And really quickly, a quick little note before I explain what's going on here. I know that my videos have been having some issues lately, and I think I may have gotten that figured out. If you've noticed it with the past several videos. So yeah, right now this, it should be all figured out, and so, that's that. Before we get started though, please like and subscribe, and, leave a comment below and hit that little bell so you'll get notifications of my, new videos, so. Ignore that. Okay, so. You may wonder why I'm dressed like this. Well, this is the start of a series. I have, the last time I did a series, it was the Phantom of the Opera series. Now we're doing a new series, and it's vampire related, because I'm wearing this vampire costume, actually. I've actually had this for a long time. It was a gift for me. I didn't care for it at the time. But I actually like the coat and stuff. I don't really like many of the accessories that come with it, but I like the coat and the vest thing. So, and I thought, hey, it'll be appropriate when I do vampire, books. So, and movies. So I decided I'm going to wear it for the start of my Dracula series. So there's my copy of Dracula. So, I've had this copy for years. It is from Troll. It's back when books were $4. That's a long time ago. So, but it is the complete and unabridged version of it. So is the original book, and there's so much I can talk about with Dracula stuff. That's why we're doing a series of videos. So anyway, let's get started. So this is one of basically like a holy grail. Or holy book, I guess you could say, of horror books. This one and a few others, which I am planning on doing another series, hopefully, on another one, but we'll see. So this is a gothic horror novel. It was published in 1897 by the Irish writer. Many people don't realize that. Irish writer, Bram Stoker. So this book has been told through a series of diary entries, newspaper clippings, I am glancing at my notes, by the way, and letters, presenting us with the story through the different characters' points of view. That's not really how I meant to say it. I meant to say that it unfolds through the different characters' point of view that way, but, it's okay. So, anyway, so the young solicitor Jonathan Harker travels from England, where his fiancée Mina Murray awaits him, on his way to Transylvania to the Carpathian Mountains, to meet with his client, a mysterious Count Dracula, who is purchasing some properties in England, notably in Whitby, which I'd love to visit someday. Very, very much would like to visit someday. Jonathan arrives on St. George's Night, a night of great evil, as he's told by locals. I changed some of my notes a little bit. So Dracula, he arrives at Dracula's castle on St. George's Night, and Dracula graciously receives him. This reveals Dracula to be, because he's never seen him before, a very elderly man with grotesque features and a mustache and stuff. Something that Jonathan has never seen before. No such human being has he ever seen. So Dracula wishes Jonathan to stay with him and to learn the English language and the English customs. Much to Jonathan's dismay, who was hoping for, to be a relatively, short visit so he could get back to Mina. He is warned to not fall asleep in any of the rooms of the castle that are not, the bedroom that he's been given. He unfortunately ignores this and falls asleep in the library, awakening in a maddening, nightmarish world. Meanwhile, Mina waits for Jonathan in England and stays with her friend Lucy Westenra. who soon begins sleepwalking, and when a Russian ship, the Demeter, runs aground at Whitby, Lucy falls victim to a mysterious creature that feasts upon her blood. Now, I intentionally left a lot of details out of that and vague and, of course, cut off because I want you to read the novel. Now, of course, who doesn't know who Dracula is? We obviously know Dracula's a vampire. If that was a spoiler to you, I apologize, but I'd be really surprised if you didn't know that. I mean, everybody's heard of Dracula, just like everybody knows Sherlock Holmes is a detective and so on and so forth. And, Jekyll and Hyde are the same person. But Dracula is one of those pieces of pop culture that has endured and has been adapted so many times. He and Sherlock Holmes especially have been adapted so many times in film and comic book and other books and cartoons and, everything practically. So, but Dracula is kind of a staple of horror. This book is very much a book of invasion literature. It was kind of the fear of, invaders, foreign invaders into one's country and stuff. And it held, it very much held those fears. I like to kind of ignore that because, I understand the time in which it comes from, but I feel like that's such a harsh idea, and so I like to try and ignore that and just enjoy it for the piece of, gothic horror literature that it is. And it also was very much a challenge to the Victorian sensibilities, especially to sexuality at the time as well. So it, like having, I'm going to mention some scenes in the book that are later on, like the part with, the parts with Lucy being fed upon by the assailant, we'll just say that, by the creature. And then later, Mina drinking the blood, from, his breast, pretty much. It was, from his chest. The creature's chest, sorry. Very shocking for Victorian morality. So, but it's another one of those books, kind of like Wuthering Heights challenged some morality. And even Jane Eyre kind of challenged sensibilities to this book was another challenge. So, but, and last night I actually stayed up and watched the 2.5-hour miniseries from the BBC from 1977 called Count Dracula, which is the most faithful adaptation that there is. There are some differences though, like there's Mina and Lucy are sisters, and the character of Arthur Holmwood and Quincy P. Morris have been combined into Quincy P. Holmwood and made him an American like Quincy is. Dracula does not start as an old man. I'm trying to avoid a spoiler there, so if you don't understand that one, read the book. And also, it's not told in diary entries and stuff, but it has some unusual video effects. But it was a television miniseries from the late 70s, so the effects are kind of what do you expect? But it does have some dry moments, but I think it is still a really good adaptation, and it is the most faithful. It is, I think, the only version that I've ever seen that has the character of Mr. Swales, who is a character that Mina and Lucy meet in a cemetery in Whitby, which the scene that they did, which is from the book, they actually filmed it on location at Whitby in the cemetery on the hill overlooking the ocean. So that is something directly from the book, and it is filmed at the exact location that happens in the book. I was going to film earlier in the week TBR for Halfoween-a-thon, so I'm just going to make a quick note about that. This is actually one of the things I'm reading for Halfoween-a-thon, and it is the Marvel Comics illustrated Dracula. It is an adaptation of the novel, so I'll be reading that. I've actually read it before. It's very good. It has some great illustrations in it. I guess I can show you some, here. I think they did, of course, modernize it and clean it up a bit, because it was from, I'm not really sure when it was from. It might have been from the 70s or something. But it did, I think, continue on into the comics as Tomb of Dracula. But if you're following Halfoween-a-thon, this actually meets the challenge of read a book with blood on it. And if you see there, I think this is supposed to be Lucy because she's blonde-haired. There's blood on her neck where the vampire or Dracula... I'm sorry, spoiler, where Dracula's been feeding on her. So, sorry, there's a few spoilers. And then I also wanted to just share this. It's a coloring classic of Dracula. I've never read what's in it. I mean, it's an adaptation of the novel and stuff, and I've never colored the illustrations either. Because, I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe it would lose some of its charm if I colored it. I do have a graphic novel coloring book of Dracula, and I did color it. I've had it, I think, shortly before I got that graphic novel I just showed you, or shortly before, I'm not sure. But it's got some awesome illustrations in it, and I've looked through it many times. I need to actually read it, and it's on Goodreads listed as a book, so I mean, reading this would be another book that I've read off my shelf, so. Well, anyway, so this is the ending of part 1 of the Dracula series. I'll be doing these on and off for a while. I have several videos. We'll be looking at movies. We'll be looking at other books, potential sequels, and other adaptations. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next time right here on E.D. Lewis Reviews. Everybody stay safe and have a great spring day or evening whenever you're seeing this. So anyway, bye-bye.